A highlight of the Blancpain Endurance Series season is the total 24 hours of Spa. And this weekend, the single biggest grid of GT3 cars to be found anywhere in the world descends on Belgium for what promises to be another fantastic race, another great round of the Blancpain Endurance Series, and another fantastic chapter in the history of the Spa 24 hours. Over 200 drivers present to do battle. Last time out, the cars had a 1,000-kilometre race in the sunshine of Paul Ricard going into the darkness. And it was Bentley that set the early pace, but as everybody jostled for position, it was perhaps small wonder on a crowded circuit that drama wasn't far away. An early incident took out the Rinaldi Racing Ferrari. McLarens and Bentleys involved as well, cars scattering in every direction. And the car that had inherited the win at Monza early in the season was an early casualty with damage. On RT Racing, Grasser Racing Team, Lamborghini in the lead, chased hard by Bentley, with the number 23 Nissan working its way into contention. The car of Alex Buncombe, Captain Masaccio and Wolfgang Wright was soon looking to try to gain track position on the run down the famous Mistral Straight, whereas, in contrast, Brooks and Gignon BMW had a rather tiring day. The second of the Von Ryan Racing McLarens was also in strife, rear damage putting that car into the pit box where it joined the sister car that had won last time out at Silverstone. Mark VDS Racing made a welcome return to the championship, starting from the pit lane after an engine change. That car was working its way into contention. WRT's Audi was in strife and in the pit box, and the number 23 Nissan was going strongly. It was a four-way battle for the lead after the next round of pit stops. Two Bentleys, a Nissan and a Lamborghini. And the Nissan was hunting for success. Never had the car had an outright win before. Try as they might, it couldn't quite grab the advantage around the outside of the Lamborghini, but others had bigger problems. Yannick Malagol, Howard Blanc, Jean-Marc Bachelier Ferrari was ablaze, and the HTP Racing Bentley was in the pit box. Then Nissan made its push for race honours, having to use all of the track, all of the curb. 23 battled its way into the lead of the race. VDS BMW was up to fourth place and battling with the number 7 Bentley, but that too was trying to work its way into contention. Both of them delayed in traffic as they squabbled over the position. Drama then for Lamborghini. The number 19 car stopped, and as Mark VDS cycled through the pit stop, there was more drama for the Grasser Racing Team. As a mechanic fell, his colleague assisted with the tyre, but it's one mechanic only for a tyre, and that meant that with a pit stop infringement, the car had to serve a penalty. The number 99 Robo Racing Mercedes was working its way up the order. Bentley number 7 made contact with the ISR Audi. That spun out of the way, and as the race went into the darkness, heading towards the end of 6 hours, it was looking to become a fight between Nissan and Bentley. 7 was catching 23 Nissan. Worried faces at Nissan, happy faces at Bentley, until Stephen Kane had a rare spin, and that cost him the time required to let the Bentley drop further away, allow the Nissan to pull clear, and it was delight for Bob Neville's team as the Nissan GT3 GTR scored its first outright victory in the Blancpain Endurance Series, with a win for Wolfgang Wright, Alex Buncombe and Captain Masaccio in the 1,000 kilometres at Paul Ricard. So welcome to a soggy Spa. This is the total 24 hours of Spa. It is race day. We are 25 minutes or so away from the race getting underway, and after what has been a glorious weekend thus far, it is now very wet indeed. We've had lots of rain all through the day, and the hardy fans are looking forward to what should still be another fantastic race, but it is going to begin in very challenging conditions. A total contrast from earlier in the week here at Spa in the sunshine. A regular feature of the total 24 hours of Spa weekend is the drivers' parade into Spa town itself. It's a chance for the fans to see the cars on the move, and it's a rare opportunity for drivers or mechanics to drive a GT3 racing car on the road. Seldom do you see cars like this in such unfamiliar surroundings. The fans lined the roads, and Spa town came to a virtual halt as every car competing in the race made its way into town, and all the drivers were then present for the drivers' briefing. Stefan Rattel, the man behind the Blancpain Endurance Series, was a very proud man indeed, as he had brought such a strong grid once more to a very strong Belgian fan base. It was no surprise that Maxime Martin, amongst the other Belgian drivers, was the centre of attention, and autographs were signed for the fans, and Spa was packed out with fans old and young. But another major draw in the centre of the town was Alex Zanardi. because the living legend is here to tackle the 24 Hours of Spa for the first time. He's also been on track this weekend on his hand bike as well. But this weekend is all about 24-hour racing.
Spa is, without doubt, is one of the most iconic circuits in the world.
Heading down towards Eau Rouge, Alessandro Piaguini tucks in behind him and gets to the corner safely as this massive pack of cars descends at the bottom of the hill.
For us, it's the pinnacle. It's our ultimate race. It's the one that we want to win. It's the ultimate challenge. 24 hours. It's exciting.
You can put a price on, getting people involved, get them to touch the car, and I see all the kids all the time just, bringing more and more and more and more smile to their faces. It's priceless.
To get that close to the cars, to the race drivers, and I think this is something the fans want to see.
Well, yeah, Spa means a lot to me because I'm obviously from Belgium, and it's a very big race, and I think you could say it's the biggest GT race in the world.
We go racing. Lawrence Vanthoor in the Audi leads them away.
How many series are there in the world where you have so many supercars on one grid and such a big grid?
I remember going through Eau Rouge for the first time at Spa and I had a huge smile on my face.
And that's the hitting that at the best part of 120 mile an hour. Oh, dear me. Hold your breath.
So you get into Blanchiment 1, what am I going to do? Am I going to lift or not? No, I'm not lifting. And you plateau on the apex and go, yeah, awesome.
You have uphills, you have downhills, you have quick sections.
Another massive shunt.
You need to push, but still keeping in mind that if you do a mistake, you're gonna hit the wall pretty hard.
Hurt little finger maybe.
It makes it really special.
Perfect lap. Yeah, you can feel it straight away.
Hard on the brakes, catching the traffic.
And you try not to miss off the lap. You're like, okay, it's gonna go. And every lap throughout the 24-hour race is a challenge.
The entertainment is always good as well. There's lots of fun stuff to do. There's always some good food as well.
It seems we have a small advantage on the track. Things run normally, it will be very tight to the very end.
For sure it's going to be close like this.
Still 14 minutes to go.
Gets up alongside and gets them through. René Rast, Lawrence Vanthoor and Marcus Winkelhoff will win the Total 24 Hours of Spa.
A race I will probably never forget.
And three delighted drivers celebrate at Spa. Lawrence Vanthoor, René Rast, Marcus Winkelhoff win not just the Pro Cup, they win the Total 24 Hours of Spa. So we're getting closer to the start of the race, but before we do get the cars underway, we better hear from the boss, hadn't we? Stefan Rattel is on the grid with OJ.
Here we are, Stefan, the big one. How excited are you?
Very excited. It's not the best weather, but it's definitely the best race to come. I don't think it's ever been that close. We had yesterday 6 makes in 0.3 of a second. We have close to 60 cars on the grid. We have 36 nationalities represented. We have 11 manufacturers and 6 of them going for the big fight and to win overall. I think that's the big one.
I was listening to Adders earlier on. He said this is possibly the biggest grid ever in motorsport.
I mean, for a single class of cars, GT3 only, that's definitely unique. And I think we're on for an exceptional race. And it's Spa, it's the weather everybody expects at Spa. It makes the race even more unpredictable. And it should be, I mean, the drivers are on for a very big one.
Stefan, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The rain is getting heavier, the circuit is getting wetter. Here they come towards the timing line. The Spa 24 hours for 2015 is go, and a very good start by Kevin S. Slow away in contrast as Frank Schnippler. We get a McLaren 1-2 as they drop downhill because it is S ahead of Alvaro Parenta. Now take a big deep breath. Are they all going to get through Eau Rouge safely on this first lap in the spray on a wet road? So far so good as 57 GT3 cars power uphill for the first time. The biggest race in the GT calendar is underway, and it is McLaren's first and second as they head uphill, and that has been a remarkably tidy start.
Yeah, I mean, Frank Schnippler on that pole position seemingly got caught out or was just overly cautious. I don't know which of the two it was, but certainly Kevin Estre, no surprise that he took advantage and put his McLaren into the lead, albeit for the first third of a lap.
So let's see how long it is before Frank Schnippler makes his attack to try and get back into the lead. Of course, at this moment, they're still trying to work out grip levels. They're trying to get warmth into the tyres. They're looking for visibility. All these things that drivers have to factor in as well as battle for position. And there's the first casualty. Round goes 75, and that is a lose for Frederic Verviche, who goes off the road. Others scatter in avoidance.
Well, I mean, it was an unnecessary overtake up the inside and the exit of Les Combes, contact with the other Audi, and quite why it was felt necessary on this opening lap to put yourself into a compromising position, damage your car, potentially damage the other car. I don't know. I mean, talk about exasperation.
There's always one, isn't there, early on in a Spa 24 hours that does it to you, John, and this year it's Frederic Verviche. But you're right, I mean, he's got 24 hours to go, and there he is in strife, not even halfway around the first lap.
Well, I think totally unnecessary, and he may get a penalty for an unnecessary or avoidable collision, but of course he's done the damage by losing control, spinning, and the whole field has gone through. He may have to make a trip into the pit lane because some of the carbon fibre attachments did come detached. Now, whether that will affect the car handling in this condition probably is not going to be as noticeable as it would be in dry conditions. Nevertheless, totally avoidable and, in my opinion, completely unnecessary.
There's one car that is in the pit lane, which is Olivier Pla in the Nissan, and that car has made its way into the pits. Now, is it an early problem, or is that a very clever idea to try and keep out of trouble and keep out of the spray? Well, either way, 22 then is in the pit lane, and Olivier Pla hopefully will join in and not lose a lap, because the race leaders are about to come over the timing line. The timing line is here, even though the start line is on the other side of La Source, and a good battle has already developed between 8 Bentley there. Look in the hands of Maxime Soulet, and right up behind him, looking for a way by in the Marc VDS BMW, is Maxime Martin. Just wallow in the way that Maxime drives in the wet.
Yeah, but remember, we saw in Paul Ricard, this car, or one of the BMWs, having to battle forever and overruns in the braking into La Source, and the Bentley comes through on Lucas Lohr. He knows how difficult it is to get past a Bentley. He's trying again down the hill, the run down into Eau Rouge, but the Bentley has just got enough where it can't in a straight line.
So nose to tail they run, and the Marc VDS BMW needing to try and find a way through. You're on board with Maxime Martin now then as he climbs uphill, and he's in the spray. The wipers working overtime as they power now on up towards Les Combes for this lap number 2. Up front, Kevin Est is leading by over 4 seconds already. But what can Maxime Martin do? He was a little bit subdued in the Superpole yesterday. And there, look, working his way up the order. Number 1 is René Rast starting, and he's got himself up ahead of Frank Schnippler.
Yeah, I mean, René Rast, a master in Audis, particularly in endurance events, getting past a more cautious, certainly a very cautious starting Frank Schnippler. But Frank's not giving it up. He's there at the races, and he's going to come out of Bruxelles side by side. In fact, he comes out ahead of René Rast.
And the outcome of all of that is that Schnippler goes back ahead. And of course, these two are teammates. They're both at WRT. The last thing Vincent Vossi's squad wanted is for the two cars to touch and compromise their run early in the race, as up front the two Von Rahn Racing McLarens get away. Kevin S leading Alvaro Parenta. Schnippler runs third. René Rast fourth then. And here's the battle raging on lower down the order, where Lucas Lohr has got Mies behind him. Up to third goes Rast into Les Combes. René Rast has done it again. He's got himself past Frank Schnippler. Now this time, can he hang on to it?
This time he will hang on to it, because he's now clearly a car length and a bit ahead. Frank Schnippler again sticks the Audi right in the middle of the racetrack. But René Rast has got the track position, and he can take the normal racing line without fear of Frank Schnippler sticking the Audi down the inside on what would have been an impossible overtaking manoeuvre.
Now how about this battle? Lucas Lohr is under attack from Mike Parisi. This is for 9th place, and the Marc VDS BMW holding up the red Bentley, which goes to the inside line, heading into L'École, and through it goes. Mike Parisi makes the move, and have a look behind as well, because you've got the Mercedes hunting them down. So Lucas Luhr, having lost one place, could lose more.
I just wonder, we saw Lucas Luhr make that pass on the Bentley, then out braking himself. I just wonder, is there a problem that Lucas Luhr has got because he's actually going backwards rather than maintaining position? He just lost 2 positions in 1 lap.
And there, big damage to the Ferrari, and that is the car that is started by Gilles Duquesne. And this is not going to be the work of a moment to sort out, not only because of the damage, but Gilles, who is a disabled driver, wheelchair user after a big Formula 3 accident, left him paraplegic many years ago. The medical car is on standby. Let's try and piece it together, because coming up towards Les Combes, the Ferrari...
Oh, it just suddenly turned sharp right. And again, big heavy impact, and that car is all over and done with. There's heavy damage to the front. It'll be potentially suspension, if not chassis damage. The front chassis legs, the car looks like it's got a twist in it already.
We go racing down towards the hairpin at La Source. Comes the back marking gaggle and the race leaders, who of course now find themselves right in traffic. We haven't really touched yet on the fact that Lapper is going to be a key part of the race, but John, it starts right now.
It is indeed, and I think the man that really is going to be right on the case is the 3rd place René Rast in the Audi, as he is seen trying to get himself into position. He's got a Ferrari between himself and 2nd place Alvaro Parentas. Kevin Estres really struggling, having to battle to find clear areas, allowing his teammate Alvaro Parent to get the run up through Edion and maybe get onto the tail of the lead McLaren as they come up into Les Combes, as we go back to where are the leaders? They're not here yet, are they? There they are. That's the leader.
And there, running wide is Kevin Est, and Alvaro Parent tries to make a move for the race lead. Est is trying to get through traffic. He's trying to keep his teammate at bay, and a tiny error there, but you can see how much time that 2nd group of cars has lost. The top 3 have just vanished up the road now. So down towards the end of lap 15 they come.
And René Rast, he's got the run.
Absolutely.
Alvaro Parent, being slightly cautious, has given René Rast the opportunity to come up the outside and takes the position.
Good clean pass. Is he going to get through the bus stop? Okay, Parent fights back, but it's a genuine battle for position, and it's gone up into 2nd place for Audi. René Rast has done it now. He's gone through ahead of Parent. And there's another big accident at the top of the car. It's the Boutsen-Gignon car. I think that's Karim Auger who's gone off, and there's bits and debris all over the road. This is going to be a long one.
This is going to be another safety car. At least that's a big impact. At the same point as the Ferrari went in about half an hour ago now, and that again, virtually an identical part of the racetrack, but probably with even more of the car on the racetrack. Certainly, let's watch again and see. Well, that's the tail end of it. Right front wheel ripped away, and the right rear as well, but it's the right front that's been ripped off with the suspension, the bodywork. So 3 corners, 2 corners pointing in the wrong directions. 1 corner 100 metres away.
Now, of course, this is where the teams start to earn their money on strategy.
Well, the pit stop from anybody, there's a problem because they're all being held up.
Yeah, but also Kevin Est, look, he's in. So the race leader as was is in. There is Karim Auger, who is okay, thankfully. Karim, after a big impact, but very cross, his race is done. And there, look, Kevin Est is being held, and so is René Rast until the next wave of cars has come through. So they gained on the first safety car, they're losing out now.
Yeah, and they also thought they would do the smart deal. Let's get into the pits and try and do our pit stop, driver change, or certainly tyre change, refueling and get out before we get trapped. But what's happened is they're now going to lose the advantage that they had under that first safety car deployment, and it'll all come back to being sort of a pretty much level playing field, I'm assuming, because they're going to sit there until the safety car comes past, and that's going to be another minute probably.
Yeah, they're going to lose half a lap at least, aren't they?
Why can they not release these cars? I don't understand.
The regulation says you've got to be released when a wave has gone through, and if you're not in the queue when the cars are coming past, then you've got to wait for the next one. Now, does René Rast come in this time? Trouble is, we go green, so he's going to lose time if he does come in, but he's going to lose time by being on wet.
He's
so
got no choice.
He's going to stay out.
He's staying out. Well, Audi are going to roll the dice. They're going to. When I think that the crossover time between the wet weather lap time and the slick dry time is probably going to take a couple more laps. So maybe Audi are gambling. They're going to give René Rast with clear air 1 lap, maybe 2 laps on these tyres, at which point they need to bring him in, because by that stage I suspect the dry slick tyre time will overtake that of the wet.
And what we now also have is, because of Alvaro Parent's second pit stop, René Rast into the lead of the race now, of course, but he's made 1 fewer stop. But it's number 1 Audi, last year's winners, lead again. But it's raining on the start line, just as you said that, John. It's starting to rain again.
It's not raining, it's pouring. I mean, everybody at the top of the circuit, there doesn't appear to be any rain there, but you can see behind, in that background shot, it is pouring over the pits and the Eau Rouge part of the circuit. So when they make their way back up the hill to come to the bus stop chicane, they need to be aware that track conditions on slick tires are going to be horrendous.
And so the pendulum swings back the way of René Rast, still on his wet tyres. So by staying out, they call it right.
Big shunt under virtual safety car, Ferrari with a rear.
And it goes full safety car surely now.
This is coming out of Courbe. Paul Frere, the scene of an enormous accident last year. So medical car just arrives at the scene. Safety car is now being deployed. It's down at the Courbe. Paul Frere, 2 more cars have ended their race in an accident. Stout defence. Mercedes snakes under braking as it turns in the campus. Now Lucas Luhr right under the rear wing, and the Mercedes will be quicker through the Courbe. Paul Frere. But again, once you get into a straight line, the Mercedes will be able to use all that torque and power. And Lucas Luhr, all he can do is sit there and spit feathers, basically, because in a straight line he can't do an awful lot. A little bit of an opportunity through Blanchimont, looking to get a run, get alongside. He's coming up alongside, a little bit higher speed on the exit of Blanchimont, but he's on the wrong side as they come up into the chicane. He won't be able to go the long way around, I think. But he's done it. And of course, that's aided by Bastien going into the pits. Been great work by Lucas Luhr to harry the Mercedes all the way. He didn't know the Mercedes was coming into the pits. If he had known that, he wouldn't have done what he had to do.
Indeed so. Alexander Sims is in as well, and so what that means is Laurens Vanthoor leads the race. Lucas Luhr is second, and the margin is 3.5 seconds between them. So from safety car periods to different pit stop strategies, they've done now 3 stops for the Audi, 2 to the BMW, and it's 3.5 seconds. Here they come. There's the Audi that leads the race, Laurens Vanthoor, and wait for the BMW, which is there. The set of headlights coming up Eau Rouge. Lucas Luhr, 3.5 seconds back. That is the margin. Alex Zanardi is set for his Spa 24-hour debut, and he is with OJ.
How excited are you ahead of your first endurance race?
I was very excited. Right now, it's different type of feeling. On top of the excitement, because of course the race is going on. My teammates have done already a lot of work, and on one end I can't wait, on the other end I'm pretty comfortable here because the situation out there is quite difficult. So anyway, it'll come my time and I'll try just to do my best.
Here is Timo Glock into the pit lane. And OJ is down, ready to talk us through the pit stop. So Timo Glock getting ready, and we will have the pit stop described. OJ, all yours. BMW heading towards you.
Cameras are down here at the moment, lots of interest as Alex Zanardi walks towards to get in. I spoke to him earlier on, he said this was one of his ambitions, one of his dreams to drive an endurance race, although he wasn't exactly excited about it, more nervous. As you mentioned, one extra mechanic allowed to help him in. You can see there's an extra pole to help him into the car. They've had to change the wheel over because it's got extra controls for him to use his hands. As the stop goes, they're putting slicks onto the car. It seems, to all intents and purposes, a very slick stop. Adders.
Thanks, OJ. Yeah, fascinating to see some on-board footage of this as well, and what goes on inside the car, different from other pit stops with, as you mentioned, the change of steering wheel, the change of controls. Of course, it's far from easy to get into one of these cars under normal circumstances, never mind when you have prosthetic limbs. And Alex Zanardi, who has done endurance racing before, I remember him at Silverstone in the old BPR GT days, gets away now into the Spa 24 Hours for the very first time. And of course, he's going to do this, John, on a wet road with the light fading.
I mean, you couldn't have chosen a more difficult set of circumstances to go back out onto the racetrack. It's getting darker on a set of slicks, and first time on the racetrack this weekend. Oh, 2 cars in contact at La Source.
One of them is the Christodoulou Mercedes, and 29 Mercedes is nearest us, 11 is the other. That's the Kessel Racing Ferrari. Let's try and piece it together, John.
Yeah, we're just trying to look and see. Well, I know what happened. The Ferrari was coming up the inside, and the Mercedes was literally just didn't see it, because he had his focus on the car directly ahead of him. That was a very ambitious manoeuvre by the number 11 Ferrari to think that it could have gotten through there. So huge disappointment. A car, Mercedes, that had been competitive throughout, the race so far.
Safety car's been deployed. Safety car deployed. That should be for the recovery of that Mercedes.
Well, the Mercedes is on the back of the truck. It's been driven away. I don't know what that problem is.
It's the 6th safety car period of the race. 21 has come in.
And the door
is off.
Well,
largely.
I'm not quite sure what it's doing. I mean, has it become... We've seen these doors have a problem in the past. Something has gone wrong with the mechanism that locates the door.
Now, you've got a mechanic working on the car to sort the door out while it's being refueled. Can you do that under the regulations?
Not unless you're in the garage, I would have assumed. You're only allowed 2 people working in a car.
Number 1, the race-leading Audi, has pitted, but has also been off the road, I think, because we've just been told that car 1 has rejoined the track at turn 15.
That's done at Stavlo.
Yeah, so car number 1 has had a drama somewhere, and it has dropped into 11th place. It has now pitted, but significantly, car number 1 has had a drama. This is the significant development, because out of sight, Lawrence Vantor has been off the road, and the car is in the pit lane, it's in the pit box, and it's already lost 2 laps.
There was another car off track just at the exit of the Paul Frere curb, which is the area that we believe that Lawrence Vantor had this incident. We don't know whether there was 2 cars getting together. We don't know the reason, but the consequence of it is this car is dropping like a stone, sitting in the pit. The WRT team working furiously around the left front of the car. So the car that has controlled this race over the last couple of hours or so is really now in struggle.
So the concert's in full swing.
This is Pasha in Ibiza now. Get the groove, baby.
My life gets ever more surreal, I tell you. At the moment, his car, Steph Dusseldorf driving it, is leading by 34.5 seconds. Dirk Werner is up into 2nd place now because Sandstrom has pitted 35 Audi, giving it to Marc Basseng. Now, number 1 is back on the track, but it has lost, effectively now, 5 laps. Marcus Winkelhock is at the wheel, so Lawrence Vantor is somewhere with a story to tell if OJ's feeling really brave, but it's game over really. If you lose 5 laps in a race like this, that's an eternity. But now we have the firework display. There have been plenty of fireworks on track. Now it's the fireworks above the circuit as well. Bentley 7, Andy Merrick is off the road.
And that's an impact in the barrier, so yeah, things are changing literally, and he's got the car rolling again, but in what direction? Loads of steam coming from the radiators, so I suspect that radiator has been damaged. You can see the Bentley Malcolm Wilson, and look, the engineers, they know what's happened. They know that the radiator has been damaged. Steam, how much fluid is pouring out of the car as Andy Merrick is going to try and get it back up to the pit. He's shut the engine down. I wonder, has the team said, shut it down? Here it is, up Kemmel Straight. It's really close to the car, the Jaguar, and goes down and all the way, oh dear me, bump, bump, bump. Now that isn't what caused the damage, it's the spin trying to get back on the track. There it is. It didn't even make, he couldn't even turn the car.
No.
Bentley team gutted, absolutely gutted.
And a replay here coming out of the bus stop, somebody else in strife. Oh, that was 8 Bentley, wasn't it? Getting it wrong, Max Buch.
Maxi Buch.
Yeah, in 2nd place he is, but having a spin himself.
Well, that looked like it was self-induced by the young German driver. What was going on?
So the race is being led by Steph Dusseldorf. He is the man up front at the moment, and the race will battle into the darkness as the recovery operation is underway. It's been a very lively start to the 24 Hours of Spa. Sunday morning has broken. There's a bit of fog hovering over the circuit. The rain that we had last night has gone, thankfully, and it's due to be a dry day. And the teams that have battled on through the night get to the daylight and think we're nearly at the end, but far from it, because there is still, as I say, over 8 hours of the race remaining. Number 7 had its big accident up at Les Combes. That is out of the race. So too, number 8, Bentley, has gone in the night with mechanical problems. 45 is now the leading car. Maxime Martin is at the wheel. And if there were to be a win for Marc VDS Racing, it would be perhaps a very just result after all the years of trying. But they've got to combat another Belgian team, WRT 2nd, with now Nico Müller at the wheel. Running 3rd is Daniel Junqueradea. Running 4th is Lucas Law. 5th now is Christopher Mies, albeit 2 laps down. Nico Bastien currently leads the championship. You score points at the 6 and the 12-hour mark, and because of the pace that 99 has displayed over the course of this race, Nico Bastien and Steph Dusseldorf now head the Pro Cup ahead of Alex Buncombe, Kepsa Masachio and Wolfgang Reif. Out of the race, Kane Merrick-Smith. Way down, Lawrence Van Toren, because he split cars away from Frins and Verne. They are really in strife as well because their car a retirement. Danny Juncadella running 6th in the title race at the moment, 41 points to the Spanish driver. What we now need to start looking at is, in dry conditions and hopefully without safety cars, how long people are doing on a stint, and therefore try and work out who's in the box seat come at the end of the race. Because remember, last year Marc VDS tried to get away with not changing tyres and save time and keep the race lead. Well, it worked, but then they just didn't have the grip to be able to withstand the challenge from Audi, and Audi won last year by just 7 seconds. It's going to be just as close potentially this year. Another great battle in store today. And problems for Marc VDS. Lucas Law has just been given a drive-through penalty in the 3rd place car for overtaking under a yellow flag. So little things like that can bite you.
And look, they've just realised that Augusta Farfus has been done, and has had, and look, Baz has, and Lucas has said, I told you, I didn't see it either.
But where is the yellow flag zone? Because we're not seeing anything going off.
I don't understand. There's somewhere around the racetrack. So where's the yellow flag?
Now, we understand it was at 7:45 this morning, so that was nearly an hour ago, and that's effectively taken the time now to come through the system. So they're not recent ones. And there you can see number 2 having its fuel go in. It'll be a tyre stop now. WRT reluctant to even contemplate double stinting tyres, I'm told, because the extra weight, 100 kilos of fuel, which is a full tank on old rubber, not good, and there's a problem getting the wheel off. Look, it won't budge.
Give it a kick. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's helped it.
I tell you what, I didn't think we'd seen football and motorsport, but there you've seen it. A couple of
You thought Super League was dead, didn't you?
Well, when we got rid of Super League, we did have football on that. But that was frustration. And sometimes, we used to call that sort of a shipyard screwdriver. I mean, that would be a hammer, but I mean, a good right hoof did the same job. So shipyard foot.
Well, it's cost them a few seconds, and it all adds up. So Stippler's still at the wheel, back into the race. This car catching now.
Yeah, Steph Dusseldorf. Whether he's managed to take that 2nd place during the Stippler's pit stop.
Not yet.
See until it all need another lap or 2 for it to get reset. And here the team that is leading, and this is the 2nd car. That's the 3rd place car. It was 3rd place coming into the pits. Nicky Katzberg. Will the Mercedes be able to, in the overlap, regain that 3rd place from this 45 BMW? Now, the Mercedes has got the clear run down all the way through La Source, down into Eau Rouge. The BMW is going to make its way. It's going to be the first of those 2 cars. So now the BMW can get on it, but it's a tricky. I mean, the gap is going to be comfortable just about by the time the Mercedes exits radio. There's the BMW, and it's going to be the momentum should be with the Mercedes, but the gap probably about 80 meters or so. And this is Dusseldorf's opportunity. He's going to make it happen. He's got to make it happen now, and he's going to dive up the inside, and he's done it. He's managed to just side by side into Lincoln.
And Nico Bastien doesn't quite do it. Nick Katzberg hangs onto the place. Then this is a real battle for position for 3rd overall. It's the BMW just ahead, but Nico Bastien now well into his stint, wants to try to make the move and get the car ahead on the road, not just on pit stops as they go down towards Bruxelles. There's traffic ahead of them as well. Look, you've got the Porsche there of Frank Schmickler, and the Marc VDS engineers look on. Rover Racing will do likewise to see how the Mercedes is doing. They've got the back marker ahead. The Porsche should keep out of the way. Lining up for the inside is Katzberg. If he can go through on the inside at Porn, the Mercedes can't, and that is the case. He's bought himself a bit of breathing space.
And that's why Nicky Katzberg is a definite go-to, proper pro driver. Great bit of racing by both drivers, but Katzberg, he was there and he was determined not to let the Mercedes get the advantage.
That's the leader. The leader, Dirk Werner, is off the road. The leader has had a drama. Is that a spin, or has something mechanical caused the car to go around? That is down at Bruxelles by the look of it. The smoke coming out of the engine bay. I fear this does not look good for the race-leading car.
Well, that car is not going anywhere. It's suddenly in a position where it will need assistance. And that's, I mean, what has happened? We just got the car at a standstill. We don't know the reason. And it looks like there's something mechanical, be it in the transmission or be it somewhere I mean, it is, they can't move the car.
Here it comes, John.
I think something mechanical has gone awry. There it is. Something locks at the back of the car, and he goes around. Now, whether that was in the transmission or difficult to tell, you're only going to be second guessing, but something caused the rear of the car to lock up, and I doubt it was a brake problem per se. Oh, that's it. You know, there's something, I would say, in the gearbox or in the differential has just gone clunk, 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 clunk. And, well, didn't anticipate that.
No, so the race-leading car, by the sound of it, is going to be out of the race because that was a pretty horrible noise. Now that the track is clear, we've gone back to green, and we have there the number 2 Audi back into the lead of the race. Dirk Werner is out of the race, I'm afraid to say, and what was looking so strong for Marc VDS yet again, it just doesn't work out for them.
There's the face, Lucas Luhr.
And it's his car now that will uphold the team's honour, so 46 has to step up to the plate, doesn't it now?
Pierre Dupasquier, you can see the concentration, waiting for the move down the inside. Is it going to happen? Well, you stick your nose up the inside, you try to distract and unsettle Stefano Otelli. Well, Otelli's been here, he's written the book, he knows precisely what the game is.
Down they come towards La Source. He goes one way, he goes the other. Otelli defends, but there's racing room on the inside, and now the BMW will make the move. Nick Katzberg goes through, up on the inside. Place gained, into the lead, on merit, on pace, not just on pit stops. Goes 46 then, so Marc VDS loses one, but gets the sister car up into the lead of the race. This battle is not done yet. It may well be decided on pit strategy, but for now, Nick Katzberg wants to try to get away from that Audi and try and build some sort of a gap and therefore lose less time during the next pit stop. So, 46 BMW now takes over the lead of the race. We've got a yellow flag out on track, and it's round Blanchimont towards the bus stop. So, the yellow flags are out towards the end of the lap. Let's try and work out what it is, or who it is that we have lost it. So it could have been that Ferrari that's just got going again. Let's see, because I understand the green is out. Yes, it is. So 52, I think it is, that's had a little drama. And this was what happened because it was a big lose, and he got within a Nat semi-crotches of that wall, but I think he just about missed it. But that was close.
I'll tell you what, I don't know where he had his heart, but it certainly would have been somewhere other than his chest cavity in that one.
There is the Pro-Am leading Ferrari from AF Corsa, Alessandro Pierguidi at the wheel of it, who of course drew attention to himself 2 years ago with his massive spin on the first corner of the race.
Yes, I think what was more impressive was he did it after telling me, no, John, I take it easy on the opening lap.
That may have been easy, just wait till he tries.
Well, that could be.
They all missed him. And he's done a good job in the car in this race, hasn't he? But that is, to all intents and purposes, a kind of Pro-Light or Pro-Am Plus, depending on which way you want to look at it, car, because it's got some very, very good drivers in it. And it is ahead now by 3 laps from the 51 Ferrari, again from AF Corsa. It's like a tank tape special, this Nissan, isn't it? The bits of tape of different colours hanging off all over the place.
Yeah, well, that was a car that was actually pushed behind the wall at one point because Wolfgang Reib had a problem coming, I think it was through the flip-flop, and then the car pushed behind the wall. They got it going again, got it into the pits, took the bonnet off. Somebody did something very rapidly, and immediately the bonnet was back on again. Wolfgang Reib thought his day was over. No sunshine, get back in there. We're going to continue onwards. So 23 all the way down in 21st place. They obviously really want any point or points they can possibly get.
There's the AM class leading Audi, and it's in 17th spot overall. It's humbling some of the Pro cars, some of the Pro-Ams. I think that's done a really good job to be so far up the order overall. I know we've lost a few, but they've just done a great job.
But actually, over the season, it's been a very consistent car in the AM, and they're doing a strong job.
And what about this threat of the rain that people are telling us about? Some suggesting it might get here light rain at 3 o'clock. Now, is that going to be borne out? How much of an effect is that going to have as the leader there gets squeezed by the back marker? Careful markers, big flash of the lights. That's the 111 Ferrari. Steve Earle, I think, at the wheel of it, and a bit of a scare for the race leader there.
You know, that's the kind of thing that can, you know, just have a little bit of contact, and you've got a guy having his own battle, doing everything that he feels is within his grasp to maximise his opportunities, and at a difficult part of the track, the pace these cars are going, once you're committed, you can't change your line, you can't just suddenly vanish because the race leader's coming through and you're getting blue lights and blue flags waved at you.
So the car is in the lead. How's he feeling? Baz is with OJ Moore.
I've joined Baz Linders on the pit wall. Under 2 hours to go, your car's in the lead by a lap. How do you feel right now?
Well, I don't think we're in the lead by a lap, but it's, yeah, maybe almost. At the moment, I feel very nervous. But these guys, the engineers, have the plans in their hands and in their heads, so should be all okay, I hope.
And there is the number 9 Glock Spengler Zanardi BMW with a problem.
Yeah, right front puncture. Yeah. So making its way back. Oh no, it's not. That looks like it's more than that's a cylinder engine problem. The right bank on the. We have seen one engine problem. That was the lead BMW earlier this morning, and that the engine just suddenly locked or seized and locked up. And now the number 9 BMW coming back on the right bank of the V8 BMW engine. Smoking heavily, I thought was right front, but in fact that's coming from the exhausts. Certainly isn't. I wouldn't say it's drivable, but it's not. It's coming to a grinding halt.
Going to park it, isn't he? And so, out of the race. Look at that, with just 63 minutes to go. It's stationary.
That's cruel.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
That's cruel for the team, in particular for Alex Zanardi, his first 24-hour race. What is this?
Third-placed Mercedes is now the fourth-placed Mercedes because it's in its box with a problem.
There's
adding water.
Well, I was going to say water going in.
Yeah.
And you don't often see that.
Nicky Thiem up to third.
And that could be Nicky Thiem permanently in third place.
Yeah.
This car stays in the garage much longer and the hood up, and there's not an enormous amount of energy being expended by the team as they work on the car. In fact, there's nobody working in the car at the minute. They're just wandering around the back of the garage, hood up. Somebody took a bottle of water and poured it. I don't know where it went to. I don't know whether the water would be replenished on the race car as opposed to the production car.
So we've seen the car, we've seen water going into the radiator, a fan blowing on it. Is that the end of this car in this race?
Yeah, that is, definitely.
That is such a shame. What was the problem?
We don't know yet already, but it looks like something with the alternator and the electricity, and then too high water temperatures in the engine system. It's very hard for the team after this hard fight for 23 hours. Yeah, it's quite disappointing. Yeah.
46. Nick Katzberg brings the car into the pit lane then, on cue at the end of lap 528 with now less than 20 minutes to go. He crosses the white line, he's into the pit lane.
It's getting exciting, isn't it? Look at the cheers there, we're saying there, they know who they want to win this race. And look at the forlorn look, the disappointment.
That could have been ours, thinks WRT.
You know, what could have been.
Only when the car goes back out can they even think about a sigh of relief, and even then there'll be 18.5 minutes or so still to go. Tyres done, they've got to drop it down, it's got to fire up, and it's got to, of course, obey the pit lane speed limit, all these other factors.
Yes, but everything is very deliberate. You can see the way they're lifting and putting down, that they're not rushing this pit stop, they're making sure there are no mistakes being made. And Nicky Katzberg is on his way. So the team did the job. They might have done it maybe 2 or 3 seconds quicker if they had needed to do, but they didn't need to do it. What they needed to do was ensure there were no mistakes.
Nick Katzberg is at Eau Rouge for the last time, heads uphill. He's not had a win in the Blancpain Endurance Series before. He's not had a win in the Spa 24 Hours before. Nick Katzberg we've seen go well in the classes in the Blancpain Endurance Series in years past, but an outright win beckons, and in the most important round of the championship and the most important GT race. And now, after years and years and years of effort and years and years and years of disappointment, there's going to be an enormous celebration at Mark VDS Racing. The party is about to start as victory in the 2015 Total 24 Hours of Spa goes to Nick Katzberg, Lucas Law and Marcus Paltela. Mark VDS Racing wins the Spa 24 Hours and wins in style. A tremendous drive, a tremendous team effort, and Baz Linders, after so many years of trying, has done it. And the interviews are going to start straight away for him there on the pit wall. There's Marcus Paltela, who's played an important part not only in this race, but of the team's results for many, many seasons. And Audi will also win the AM Cup, because here comes 24 then. Benny brings it home. For Team Parker Racing, it is a win for the Audi R8 LMS Ultra in the AM Cup over the line. Benny Simonsen takes, in the end, 14th place overall. And then second and third will go to Audi. Number 2 is going to be second, as up to the line comes Nico Müller. Behind is Nicky Tim for third, and then a bit further back, Marcel Fassler and René Rast. They get themselves perfectly formed across the line for the great photo finish. The Audi flags wave. With that, you'd think Audi had won the race, but this year it's second and third because BMW wins. In Pro-Am, it's a win for Ferrari, as over the line comes Passin Lathouras then to take the Pro-Am Cup. As out of the car gets Nick Katzberg, race winner for Mark VDS Racing. And I rather doubt that 24 hours ago he thought he'd be standing on the top step of the podium, because this has been just an awesome achievement for Nick, the young Dutch driver, and for the car, which has not let him down, has it? The BMW Z4 has done an absolutely fantastic job, that's for certain. So, the winners of the Spa 24 Hours are there, so too is John Watson.
Nicky Katzberg, first of all, many congratulations. Are you speechless?
Yes, I definitely am speechless. I mean, we've been trying for so long to reach this goal with Mark VDS and with us as drivers. And now finally, in the last year of the car which has brought me so many good results, we finally managed to win it. So I'm super happy. Thanks to the whole Mark VDS team, my teammates, BMW and SRO for hosting this great event. Thank you, guys.
Now, you realise that this is the first GT victory for BMW in the 24 hours.
Yeah, I think it's super special. It has to think in still a little bit, but I'm sure we're going to have a big party tonight.
And let's go back down and join Watty and Frank Stippler.
Frank Stippler, Stefano Telli, many congratulations. That was a tough race.
Very tough, because we were simply too slow in the end. Over the distance, we were struggling with the balance of the car, so we had to fight really hard. The lap times were too slow compared to the BMW, and congratulations a lot to them. I'm happy for them as well. They were unlucky for the last few years, and finally they won a big 24-hour race with the Z4. And I think they've got a new car next season, so I'm happy with the second place. Thanks a lot to Audi and WRT. They are an outstanding team, and it's a big honor to be part of it.
This is how the AM Cup looked. 513 laps done by the Team Parker Racing Audi of Ian Logie, Julian Westwood, Callum McLeod. Big event for him to win, in fact, this as well. And Benny Simonson, Jürgen Hering, Dimitris Constantinou, Frank Schmickler, and Philip Vlasic second, ahead of Steve Earle, Liam Talbot, Marco Zanartini, and Mark Rosdown. The winners of the AM Cup in the Spa 24 Hours, Benny Simonson, Ian Logie, Callum McLeod, and Julian Westwood. Let's just remind ourselves how Pro-Am finished. A win for Passin Lathouras, Stefan Lemeret, Gianmaria Bruni, Alessandro Pierguidi. Duncan Cameron, Matt Griffin, Francisco Guedes and Davide Rigon second. Devon Modell, Alistair McKeck, Ollie Bryant, Alexander Sims third, ahead of Leo Machitsky, John Minshaw, Johnny Cocker and Phil Keane. Francois Cornelis, the president of the RACB, hands over the winners' trophies to Alessandro Pierguidi and Stefan Lemeret in the background, now to Gianmaria Bruni and to Passin Lathouras, the Thai driver there, absolutely bowled over by his victory in Pro-Am in this year's Spa 24 Hours. Let's have a look at the Pro Cup results. A win then for Marcus Paltner, Lucas Law and Nick Katzberg. In second, Frank Stippler, Christopher Mies, Nico Müller and Stefan Ortelli. And third to Christian Mamarov, Christopher Mies and Nicky Tin. Marcel Fassler then taking fourth along with Andre Lotterer and Mike Rockenfeller. Fifth, Harold Prima, Vincent Abril and Mike Parisi. Hubert Haupt, Abdulaziz Al Faisal and Jelmer Berman. Sixth. The flags fly. The cheer is about to begin because the three winning drivers are on their way. Out comes Marcus Paltner, Lucas Law and Nick Katzberg for BMW Sports Trophy Team Mark VDS. Bas Linders, as the team principal, savours the moment as well. Lucas Law whipping up everybody into a frenzy as he came onto the podium. And after so many years of trying, I don't think anybody would begrudge Mark VDS a win. And now they can be raised aloft as the winners of the 2015 Spa 24 Hours. Nick Katzberg, Lucas Law, Marcus Paltner. In some ways perhaps surprise winners, but deserving winners nonetheless. And for Bas Linders, he has never won the race as a driver, but he has now as a team principal, and that must be a very satisfying result indeed. specially commissioned trophy is handed over to the winning drivers. Bas Leinders makes his way to join his man on the top step, and for Nick, for Marcus, certainly the biggest race they have ever won. Lucas may say the same, although he's been a very successful driver around the globe, world champion in the FIA GT1 series a few years back, don't forget, and the celebrations can begin. But Nick, Lucas and Marcus don't seem to mind getting soaked. All the adrenaline now will be ebbing away, the emotion will kick in instead, but what a result it has been for them, and what a race we've had. This is how we now stand in the Pro Cup, and what a change after the final few laps of the race, because Stefano Ortelli and Frank Stippler now find themselves in the lead of the Pro Cup after the retirement in the last hour of Nico Bastian and Steph Dusseldorf. Lucas Lohr, Marcus Paltela, they're third. Alex Buncombe, Katsuya Masachio and Wolfgang Wright fourth, ahead of Nico Müller. And then Stephen Kane, Andy Merrick and Guy Smith come next after their travails in Bentley number 7 that of course retired before midnight. It's a win for Marc VDS, overseen by Bas Leinders.
Periods over the past 24 hours, Baz, I spoke to you, you were stressed, you were nervous, you were disconsolate. How do you feel right now?
Well, I'm not sure I realized that we actually won it finally. I mean, we tried so many years and so many times, and I'm, like I said again, so grateful to Mark van der Straten to give us the confidence and to work together. It's just a beauty, and I mean, all the team, all these team members downstairs, I mean, we are one family. We've been working so long together. We know each other very well, and it's all thanks to them. And hopefully, we can have some other results in the future as well.
One more round to go in the championship. Stefano Ortelli it is who leads the way now with Frank Stippler. They're tied on 59 points. Nico Bastian and Steph Dusseldorf are next, with Lucas Lohr and Marcus Paltela tied on the same number of points. They're one up on Alex Buncombe, Katsuya Masachio and Wolfgang Wright, with Nico Müller joining Stephen Kane and American Guy Smith on 44 points. Well, what a race it has been. A great result for Nick Katzberg, Marcus Paltela and Lucas Lohr at the Spa 24 Hours. A tremendous race that we've had. From David Addison, John Watson and OJ Borg for now, bye-bye from Spa.